There are big mixed use centres like White Spider in southwest London or the Castle Climbing Centre in North London, both good but not central. This video will focus on gyms that are exclusively for bouldering. If you live in London, honestly, the best bouldering gym is whichever one is nearest you. So find that and then go from there. But this video will give you a good idea of what's on offer. A couple of notable mentions that didn't make it onto the list. So there's the climbing hangar in Parsons Green. This place is not bad. They have 3 smallish rooms for bouldering, but definitely some cool lines. And if it's near you, then go for it. There's also boardroom climbing, which is good. Recently opened in Centre Court beside Wimbledon train station. Pretty convenient. They've invested a lot here and has some good facilities. This place is new, so it's hard to judge it in terms of vibe or culture. That takes a while to develop. So far it feels clean, convenient and corporate. If it's near you, it's definitely worth a look. Alright, number 5 is London Climbing Centres. Arguably this should be number 1, because they're the big boy with 8 centres across London. They're already cannibalizing all the competition, so ranking them number 1 would be like saying that the best coffee in London is the Starbucks on Oxford Street. So they have 8 centres and there's probably one that's close to you. Most notable is Harrow Wall, which is huge. Nice lines clearly laid out. This is the jewel in the crown of the London climbing centres. Vauxhall East is also very cool. The building used to be a school assembly hall and it's very 70s progressive, but it's been transformed into a really great space for climbing. The size of the centres varies across the different locations. The more central ones will tend to be smaller for obvious reasons. My criticism would be that because they're working on this 8 centre model, some of the locations can feel a bit generic in terms of vibe and in terms of the quality and variety of the routes. But that's nitpicking really. Some of these locations are really top quality. Number 4 is Yonder in East London. This is a great space with nice facilities and a cool cafe. It's really big and has a work area as well. They seem to have lots of related activities going on, like yoga and some health and well-being stuff. There's a good vibe here and it's popular with the locals. There's a kind of community centre feel to the place. They also have this cool central boulder where you have to top out to complete lines. The only minor criticism I would have of Yonder would be that it's not very beginner friendly. When I was there, a lot of the space was given over to comp walls, and it's also not clear what grade some of the lines are, or they're not very clearly laid out. But honestly, these are minor gripes. There's a ton of bouldering on offer here, and if it's in your neighborhood, you're very lucky. Number 3 is Hein in West London. The highest rated gym in London, apparently, according to the internet. I'm not sure of the details, but this place is at least partially owned by the Bouldering Bobbat boys, who have a very cool, very popular YouTube climbing channel. This place is really nicely laid out. Lines are clear and clean. There's great variety in the route setting. The holds are high quality and varied, even on the easy routes, which makes for fun and interesting climbs across the board. Interestingly, they don't use the V grading system. They have this instead, which is fun and shows their love for Nando's. These guys have a positive, inclusive and fun climbing culture, and that's really expressed nicely at Hein. Number 2 is the Font in Earlsfield. This is simply a nice space packed full of good lines. I like the route setting here. It's varied and challenging but very fair. Lots of dynamic moves to try and fail at. I rated this one highly because the place has a nice vibe. It's simple and they have good route setting in a nice space. So this is the font in Earlsfield, but they also have a location in Borough, which is more central. Number 1 is the Arch Climbing Wall. This is one of their locations. I think was the first one. The Biscuit Factory. It's a really cool place. You can even park your bike inside. It's huge. There are so many routes to try. I don't think you could even try all the routes at your level in one session. Route setting is good and there's a ton of variety. The Arch was the first real bouldering gym in London and they have a lot of experience and they've obviously reinvested and developed their gym a lot. They now actually have 4 locations, so there could be one that's near you. Really, this list is quite arbitrary and subjective. Honestly, I think any of the top 3 could have been number 1, but hopefully it can give you a good idea of what's on offer in London.